Yeah. So recording has started. Yeah. So you can see my Excel file, right? How you can also quickly create it in your Excel also. But I'll just quickly show you what it is, and then you can work on it. So this is a simple data. It has some 5 departments, like a retail store data, kind of departmental store actually. It has 6 divisions, and it has many stores, and it is data from north, east, south, west, and central region. So that's what we've got. And obviously, this must be some crores of rupees or lakhs of rupees. And we just want to know the trend line. So we know obviously how to create a chart out of it and so on. But there's something also Sparkline also. So what I'll do, I'll select this data. Sorry, I'll go here, and there's an insert. Now in Excel, I'm using Excel 2016. So are you using 2016 or above, or is there anybody who's using Excel which is lower than 16? Is there anyone who is using Excel which is lower than 2016? Atul, which one you're using? Which version?
सर ये 2013 का है कुछ.
Okay. Okay, that should work. That's not a problem. You could see the same thing. In case you see something which is different, let me know. Yeah. So 2030 should also work. Not an issue. Yeah. So here we have this insert, and then there is a spark line, is what you can see here. Uh, in the ribbon, this is called ribbon. In the ribbon, you say line, column, win loss. Okay. So let me just click on line. Okay. And it will ask for a data range. I'll just click on the thing and select this as a data range, and then we have said choose where you want the sparklines to be placed. We're just saying location is G2, so I just say okay, and you see a sparkline just like that. Yeah. I can drag this down, and obviously the data range will change accordingly because this is for this data range. Okay, and now you get a new menu for on the ribbon basically, which is only for sparkline tools design, or it's called sparkline design. And you can see it's a line. You can also make a column, so you can make it a win loss will basically only show positive negative kind of a thing. And then there are some show like a high point that you want to show, low point that you want to show, or negative points you want to show, first point you want to show, and so on. Obviously this will kind of change here. So maybe you want to show negative points as red. That is something which you can show here. If you do it line, you will see it like this, right? And then there are different styles that you could use. I mean, whatever slide that you want, you could use here. And you can fine tune with sparkline color, and then you can look at marker color, and so on. So there are some additional things that you could do, but more or less you may use the default one and maybe pick up negative points if you have any. Want to emphasize that you could do that. Now this cell is a typical cell. So if you increase the width of this cell, it will look like this. If you increase the height of that cell, it will look like this. So it will adjust as per whatever the length and width it has got. It's there within the cell basically. It is there within the cell. Okay, and there's no text here, just a graphic element which is part of that cell. That is how it really works. Now, it's useful in a sense. In some cases, you just want to give an indication of how the data is. You could use a sparkline. Yeah. Is this clear? Any question? Okay. So what I want you to do this sparkline. Now you may not need to elaborately put everything. Just put some numbers in a column and then put a sparkline. So just put some random numbers in a new worksheet and just put a sparkline over here. Do it once and maybe just play with it for next 2-3 minutes. Maybe take 3 minutes to do it. Just put some random numbers in a row, maybe 4 or 5 numbers, and just use the next cell in that row to insert a sparkline. Do it for next 3 minutes and ask me if you are not understood. Or if you want to share your screen to show the problem, you can do that also. Uh, do it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, if you're done, you can just mention done in the chat box. Or if you have any queries, please ask. Either in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay, so I see done from three of you. 50% are done. Maybe wait for 1 more minute. Yeah, and please feel free to ask questions if you have any. Okay, I guess Nikhil, are you also done? Okay, great. So let me now get into a little presentation mode just to indicate what kind of a dashboard one can build. So dashboard. Okay, so let me ask this question before I even get into this. Uh, how? What do you really understand this term, a dashboard? Uh, any one of you kind of unmute yourself and yes, yes, Atul. Would you like to tell what is dashboard?
सर
What do you really?
ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन, डेटा का ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो सकता है जिससे एक्सप्लेनेशन इजियर हो सकता है.
Yes, yes. So what you're saying is that it's a graphical representation of data. It can help us to explain what is happening with the data, what data is telling. Very good. Any other response? Okay, Nikhil is saying just like COVID dashboards that represents vaccination status regionally. Yes, I think that's a good example. I mean, we have all seen that COVID dashboard. That's good.
सर वन इस पे आप काफ़ी सारे डिटेल्स उसमें दिखा सकते हो। वन
Yes.
डैशबोर्ड में आप काफ़ी सारे डिटेल्स उस पे दे सकते हो, आपको 10 दिखाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। वन इसमें आप काफ़ी सारा, जैसे किसी का कोविड का एग्जांपल है, कितने कोविड
Mhm.
वैक्सीन हो गए हैं, कितने बचे हुए हैं, कितना परसेंटेज है, कितने सारे स्टेट ने किया है, तो एक इसमें आप काफ़ी सारा डेटा दिखा सकते हो।
Yes. Yes. That's correct. That's correct. Good. Good. So basically, dashboard essentially is like uh, generally the ideas come from this car dashboard. When you're driving a car, you have a dashboard. There are certain indicators, which are all graphical indicators, like the speed, the engine RPM, and not the speed actually, the fuel consumption. Sometimes the speed may be, yeah, speed is there, fuel consumption is there, and there could be multiple dashboard and multiple things that could be there. Obviously, if you're driving or not driving, flying a aircraft, they also got a dashboard, which is obviously more complex than a car dashboard, right? So if you have a very complex machinery, then you may have a kind of a complex dashboard. But the whole idea is that there's so many things that are happening. You don't want to know everything at the same time. You may want to drill down at some point of time, but you may want to just see the basics, or the not even basic, I would say the critical information in a visually format so that you can quickly understand. Right? So that is a dashboard, and it is many, not only one. There are many such elements which are there. So let us look at some examples of dashboard, and then we'll see what we can do in this session and what we may not be able to do in this session. But let us see that what are the possible dashboards. So can you see my PowerPoint presentation on the screen? Yes. Okay. Okay. So this is a simplistic dashboard that you could do in Excel. Uh, this is using a basic chart. So basic bar chart is being used. But the way it is done, sorry, the way it is done here is that it's all these bar charts have been put in one place. Now, if you can be a little more careful to see near the bottom, you may see that there is actually a worksheet called dashboard. But what is done is that there's a data as one worksheet, which is there data. Then there's another worksheet called chart data, and third worksheet is dashboard. So data is what you get a data. So generally, what happens when you're creating a dashboard, you may have all data in one worksheet, which you should name as data. If there are multiple data worksheets, you could have those data one, data two, or you may say sales data, commission data, kind of a thing. So you could have those different worksheets, and then you may need to arrange this data for preparing charts, so that you could put in the chart data, and then in the dashboard you actually copy paste all the charts, and in one shot you could see what is expenses dashboard, and there are different types of expenses. Maybe a pie chart would have been a better idea, but this is, we also want to look at quarter one, quarter two, each monthly. So one would select either a pie chart or some may select bar chart. That's a choice that you could make. But there's a one simple dashboard which kind of show you at one go, what are the expenses which are there, which is very simplistic. You could do it very easily. If you know how to create a bar chart, this is just that what you need to know to create this dashboard. Then you may get a little more ambitious and start putting more uh, things. Obviously, uh, if you're doing it on the desktop, then you always have a challenge of having a limited screen size. But I also see many people use, so when they go for meetings in a conference room, you also get a big screen, and you can actually show this Excel uh, dashboard on that screen, and it can become really good to see. So this is how it could also made it more visible in a sense. And again, there are some Gantt chart. Now Gantt chart is not a basic chart in Excel, but you could create one. Then there's resource allocation and the pie chart, and the table could be put in. This is a pivot table. You could see that, right? So this could be put in there, and some bar chart is there. So it's just that you need to arrange all these charts properly in Excel. Uh, you did not always have only charts. You could actually put a table because sometimes the numbers are important, and you may just have a simple charts there and a table, which is also good enough. So dashboard need not necessarily mean that you should have only charts. Sometimes numbers are very important, and you may want to put that numbers. Obviously, it shouldn't be long table. That doesn't make sense. It should be seen in one shot. I mean, without scrolling. I think that's what is important. Without scrolling, you should be able to see a dashboard. And then there's a marketing dashboard. Now, how the dashboard should be designed is something that depends on the domain. I mean, if you are working in a particular department, you may design a dashboard differently than what other department would do. So it's typically team level or maybe department level or sometimes company level decision. But the concept of dashboard is something that you could use at a department level, team level, department level, company level. Now this is another example of it. Again, there are so many charts, and it's just a matter of how you kind of place it in a page kind of a thing. Now this is a complex chart which we're not able to do in this workshop. But I just want to show you that you could actually do such kind of thing in uh, in Excel. This is done in Excel, by the way. So we just learned Sparkline. So do you see them used here somewhere? Sparkline. Do you see where Sparklines are used?
Region, operational effectiveness.
Yeah, here at the left hand bottom
That
side,
is for you.
you will see that column thing which was used, right? So there's a Sparkline which is used over here. So and then there are some bullet chart, which is again not a basic chart, but that kind of a bullet chart over here. And this is also trained, which is again a Sparkline, which is being used, experience trained. So you could do that. You could merge cells so as to show a Sparkline. And this is like a common way you could use a Sparkline also. And then there are different kind of a charts. Not all are kind of basic charts. There's some jugaad which was done to get this kind of a chart. These are not out of box chart, but you could make this kind of a chart. And you know this is, and again there are some bullet. There are some radio buttons for which you will need to do some coding kind of a thing. But this is operating revenue report. It's like a complex dashboard. So we're not able to do this in today's workshop, but I just want to show you that in Excel people can do some things like this. Yeah? So that's the reason I'm showing you that. Human resource dashboard is another example of as much complex as it is. Here they are using simple charts, essentially not very complicated charts. But again, you will also see some spark lines over here, right? And then there are some check boxes and all that, which is where you're using some macros out there, and it could be a drop down box and so on. But again, this is again built in Excel. It may not look like being done in Excel, but this is actually Excel, which is used to create dashboards. So people use Excel extensively, kind of pushing the boundaries of Excel to get this thing done. This is another. Again, you will see some sparkline over here, and as I said, it will not be always charts. You could actually have some numbers, which is important here. So it's SLA limits, and you could color it, kind of a thing. So this is what we would could be able to use it. Let me just quickly ask, how many of you are aware of conditional formatting? You just raise your hand to tell me if you're aware of conditional formatting. Okay, so three of you have raised your hand. Okay, so this is so conditional formatting also is being used. I think in the earlier one of the dashboard. Yes, here it is. This is a conditional formatting. So if time permits near the end, I'll show you. For those who are not aware of conditional formatting, how to use conditional formatting. It's very simple. I think we'll just spend 10 minutes near the end of the session to look at a conditional formatting. If you're not aware, you can stay back and just look at that. Pretty simple thing, but I think it's very important that we should know it. That also helps. So instead of just showing data like this, you could actually show formatting. And here you can see that the numbers which are low are kind of a reddish color, not necessarily red. But number were high are different colors, and there are shades of colors which are being used here. So that is what is conditional formatting is, and you could use this also. And then this is again done in Excel. Here you can see this win loss kind of a spark line being used here, and this is a simple Excel table, but it's, I mean, it's a lot of time has been spent to prepare this kind of a table. Again, not very complicated things. It's simple data and simple Excel, but a lot of graphical elements are used just to make it look beautiful. So you could do this also. And this is a kind of a dashboard that we may want to use. We'll actually learn today is using pivot charts, where we use what you see here is called slicer. So we'll use that. What you see here is called timeline. So we'll use that. And then they have put the pivot table itself in the dashboard. You may do, may not do, depending on
Hello. Prem sir.
हाँ, उनका सिग्नल कट हो गया। पवन नहीं है ना?
hello. Yeah, I was on mute. So actually, I got disconnected without realizing that I got disconnected. So I was talking, but didn't realize when I got disconnected. So at what point of time did I get disconnected? Can anybody tell? I think I was presenting a making a presentation.
जो आज चार्ट अपन करने वाला है, that one you are showing.
So was I at this one? Did I show this slide? I just shared my slideshow. Was it on this? Was I on this slide?
It's not reflecting.
Uh, okay. It's not yet. Okay. Can you see the slide now?
No, sir.
Mm, okay. Let me again try.
Yeah, now it's coming.
Yes. Yes. So I was referring to this slide, basically saying this is what kind of a thing that we prepared today. So today's workshop, next 2.5 hours, or rather 2 hours, what we'll be spending is preparing a chart, pivot chart specifically, and using slicers and this kind of a timeline, and then trying to arrange them in a one Excel sheet worksheet so that it will be shown as a dashboard. That's what the plan for today. So let me take a pause here and see if there are any questions that you may have. Yeah. So do you have any questions so far? Okay. Well, so now let us start with the data file. So please open that data file which I have sent you. Has everybody received the data file? Can I just open that?
No, sir.
I sent it on
No, sir.
WhatsApp group. Did you receive it?
On WhatsApp group.
Group, yeah.
So WhatsApp is
Can you
not
please
linked
check?
in, not linked to system.
Okay. Will email would be better idea for you?
Yes, sir.
Should I send on email? Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So let me just do that. So who needs that on Prem? You only need it. Sorry, Rajesh. Do you need it on email? Who else is required on email? I can
Me,
accordingly
Prem, sir.
send them to on email.
Rajesh, sir.
Prem and Rajesh. Okay. I will just send it on. Just give me a minute. I'll send it across. Okay. Everybody else has got it, right? So you can open it, and I'll just send this to Rajesh and Prem. This is a little big file. It's 7 MB file. Uh,
Excuse me, I can send to Prem and Rajesh.
okay, that
Huh?
was good. I
Okay.
just send it right now. But yeah,
Okay.
can be
Yeah,
checked out.
just a minute.
Okay. So meanwhile, let me share my screen, and I only open that Excel with me. So let me just
This is
show
sent.
this to you.
Rajesh, Prem.
हाँ सर.
Yeah. Meanwhile, can you just someone of you confirm whether you can see my Excel file on my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is an Excel file which we'll use for creating a pivot chart and obviously dashboard. We'll just quickly look at this Excel file. So it's a sales data and it's a big file in a sense. I think it's more than a 1 lakh records. You can actually go down. I'm sure you know how to go down. Uh, you can just press Control and the downward down arrow, and you can see 1,13,036 records are there. So it's a fairly big file. So obviously you can't go through the data numbers by numbers and check it out. You need to really need some charts, some visual thing to do it. It's very difficult to kind of come up with some understanding of this data. Now it's basically sales data. So it has a date, it has a year, which is kind of extracted from that date. The customer ID, customer age, gender, country, state. So there are countries like Canada, Australia, and others. Product categories are there, product category, subcategory, and a product name. So there are three fields like that. There's the order quantity, unit cost, unit price, cost, and revenue. So all these are kind of worked out for us, right? So the first step is create a pivot table. So you could actually go ahead and insert a pivot chart directly also. So you could see insert, and there's a pivot table which is there, which you could insert, or you could have a pivot chart. But typically we'll first go with a pivot table. But even before going ahead with the pivot table, what we'll do is that there's something called the format as table, which we'll use. So just raise your hand if you are familiar with this thing called format as table. Can you just raise your hand if you are aware of it, or if you have used format format as table before? Just raise your hand or say yes or no whether you used format as table before.
No, sir.
No. Okay. So we'll use that. It's not necessary that you use that before using pivot table, but it is helpful. I'll tell you how it is helpful. So I'll just go ahead and so please note this terminology very carefully. When I click on this cell is E6. It's called a cell. Okay, in Excel. When I select multiple cell, it's called a range. Okay, and this range is from A2 to A12. A range could be a single column or it could be multi-column or multi-row, or it could be single row, single column, or multi-row, multi-column. So here it is a rectangular range, so to say, from A2 to D9. That's a range. Okay, then we'll format as table. It will become a table. Okay, and then we also have something called a pivot table, which we'll see later. Yeah, so these are the terminologies. So we should not, sometimes people use this as a table, but this is basically a range. So if you're looking at this entire data, it has a range. Okay, so when you click on any cell within this data range and say format as table, you'll actually get a kind of a different styling, which is over here. Okay, so let me just pick up our styling. Okay, that will ask what are the data for, what is the data for, where is the data for your table, and it kind of pre-selects it. Okay, and this is typically correct. Okay, provided there are no gaps, there are no gaps in columns or uh, rows, then it will pick up. It's a continuous range of data which will pick up automatically. Okay, if you just don't do that, if you go out and click somewhere else and you want to format as a table, you know, it will still ask, but this time you need to enter the correct range and you may make mistakes in that. So never ever do this. Never try to insert, put a number. It just creates error. So always go inside and format as a table. So let me just do this format as a table. Where the data is in a table, it is kind of pre-selected, and it also recognizes that it has a header. So it kind of picks it up and we say okay. And this is what you kind of get. Yeah. Now we may think that, oh no, this is a great thing. I mean, obviously you can look at table tools here. You can see header rows are marked differently, uh, which makes sense. Then you have banded rows. You could, some styles will have a different colors for banded. So depending on the style, there's a filter buttons which you can switch on, switch off. You could also have banded columns if need, and so on. So you could have many things over here. It's more like a formatting thing, and you may think that, you know, this is the only benefit that is there, but that's not the case. Okay, these are all. This table is kind of expands, auto expand kind of mode. What does it really mean by it? So here you have got cost and revenue. I can add a new column and I start typing profit, which is revenue minus cost. I just say enter, and it adds a column. Okay, to kind of recognizes that you're adding something here, so it adds a column automatically. And now I am to put this formula, which is O2 minus N2. I just go there, I just select this, and it takes as a revenue. Revenue is a header, actually header row, minus cost. So it reads like minus revenue minus cost. Okay, I press enter, and it actually also auto populates this entire thing over here for us. Okay, so we don't need to really do drilling, dragging down and all that. All done over here. Okay, so this kind of a done here. Okay, so that way it is pretty useful. Now, why do we really why do we really want to use it for inserting pivot table? Is because when we insert a pivot table, if we are using a data range, let us say we are kind of having a table with say, or some data range of 5 columns, and you insert a data range in a pivot table. If you increase the column by one, if you add one more column, it doesn't get automatically added there. Whereas here it will automatically add. So if you change something here, add a new column or something, it will get reflected in pivot table after refreshing it. So that's an advantage of it. So generally I would recommend that if you're using pivot table, use the base data as a format table, and it also looks good. So this you could bring in there also. So this is how we got it. Now we'll go ahead and insert a pivot table. So I'll just click on here. Now it is asking me select a table or range, and it doesn't really go with A1 to whatever that number is. It actually says table one. It is named as table one. So it's a table one, and I say OK, and it will create a pivot table essentially here. Okay. So let me take a pause here, and please do
Excuse
it.
me, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, now in this sheet you had not selected the range and directly clicked on pivot table and insert the pivot table. That means in this sheet we need not require to select the data. Directly we can make the pivot.
No. So here it is says table one.
Mm.
Right. So when you format it as a table one, what Excel has done, this entire data, it is called as a table one.
Okay.
So this whole thing, if I select it, it is called as table one. So it has assigned a new name called table one for the entire range. It is formatted as a table and gives a name called table one. If you create another table, it's a table two, and so on. So that is the reason you don't need to really give a data range. Now this is formatted as a table, so the whole thing will be called as a table one, and hence I don't need to say anything. It just says table or range. It's a table one, and it basically picks up the entire data.
Okay.
Yes. So please do it and get
Thank you.
a yeah. Thanks. Please get this thing and let me know once you're done. So please spend some time. I mean, take a couple of minutes to look at how this formatting works. Maybe you select some better formatting also, or maybe pick up something different. Add a profit column, very important. Add a profit column, we'll be using it. Hence, I want you to add a profit column and then insert a pivot table. So once you're done, let me know in the chat box that you're done.
Excuse me.
Yes.
How to go for the first step? That's the selection of the full table.
Sorry.
The first
Can you
step.
please first?
The how to go for the first step? This selection of the full table. Like from where I supposed to go?
Okay, selection of the first table per se. Okay, so you have to just say Control A, and you'll get the entire table selected for you, and then you can format as a table. Where in the home tab you will see this format as a table menu
The
over here.
format of the table. Okay, okay.
So it says quickly convert a range of cells to a table with its own style. Okay, so I could see Jay has done, Prem has done, Atul has done, 50% you have done, 50% is right. Tejasvi has done, Nikhil has done. Okay, I guess everyone has done that. Okay, cool. Cool. So we have got this now. Now we'll draw our first. So let us first get. So I'm sure you are aware of pivot table. So I don't need to really spend time. But let us get some table here. So let us look at the sales, total sales basically. So let me just click on the revenue, sum of revenue, um, which I get here as sum of revenue, uh, and then I want to see it uh, for a time. So let me just take a date here, and I can see this. Okay, I can see for each year, sum of revenue, and then I guess if I can just click on this, I can see quarter one, quarter two, and if I click on this, I'll get January, February, March kind of a breakup. Right? Now this feature is available in 2016 onwards. I'm not sure whether it is available in 2013. So I think one of you is using 2013. It may not be available with you. Can you just check and confirm whether you can see this? Just check whether you can do it. I mean, just put date in rows and revenue in the values, and you should be able to get this. And I think the plus sign thing will come for people who are using Excel, higher version of Excel. The lower version of Excel don't have that facility. So, and you
हो रहा
may,
है सर.
sorry, is it working for you?
हाँ हो रहा है, क्वार्टर क्वार्टर पे क्लिक किया तो मंथ्स भी आ रहा है.
Okay, great, great, wonderful. So this is what we have. This is what we can get, and this is a pivot table. Now we want to insert a pivot chart for it. So what? How do we do that? We just go to the pivot table tools, analyze, and here we see a pivot chart table. Sorry, button. So I just click on the pivot chart button, and let me go ahead with a line chart because it's a trend. So let me put line chart over here, and I just say OK. Okay, and this is a simple line chart that we got for this year. Now, since real estate, when I say real estate, I mean the space that we have on a screen to show this chart is not much. So I don't want to put something which is not required. So I click on this plus sign and get rid of legend. Okay, let the grid line be there and axis be there, and then I can take it here, and actually I can little expand it here. Okay, and I see this out here. Now you see this plus or minus sign here at the bottom, bottom, right bottom. This is like if you do plus, it will kind of zoom in. It will do quarter by quarter, and if you do plus again, it will go with a month. So it will show you month by month. Uh, the more you kind of make it large, it will look a little better. So you may want to close this and put it here, and you could see it a little better. Right? Obviously, if you to minus, then it will zoom out, kind of a thing. So when you look at yearly basis, it is looks very much smooth. In a sense, it is going from down to, low to high, kind of a thing, simplistically. But the more you zoom in, you will see it is not that smooth. It is actually kind of has quarter by quarter variation. And if you do this even month wise, you will see that yes, there are actually quarter wise or month wise kind of a variation out here. Yeah. So this is what you would see when you look at the visual element. This is not something that you can get out of the data. Looking at numbers, you'll not see it, but only when you put a chart like this, it kind of makes it visible that such pattern is there. It's not a straight line. It's not a smooth increasing, or it's not a smooth growth of revenue. It actually has a ups and downs in a quarter per se. So that is what you get. Yeah. So let me take a pause here for everyone to kind of come to this stage where we get this chart. Let me know once you are done. So we may not even want this title. Now we may also do some additional thing here. You may get rid of grid lines so that you get a, it doesn't look like Excel. It's become white canvas on which you can put things.
Sir, we need to go to insert, no?
Yes, for inserting the pivot chart.
Yes,
For
sir.
inserting pivot chart, you have to go to pivot table analyze, and there's a pivot chart tab here. Nikhil, you asked some question. Let me see. So the format tab is not there. Is it my format tab? Which tab, Nikhil, are you are referring to? Format as table. Nikhil, is it possible for you to unmute and speak up? Yeah, so format as table is what you need to use. There is no format tab. There's a format as table that you'll need to use. In the data, you should simply use format as table. There is no tab for that.
Yeah, format as table is done.
Huh. That's perfect.
Then
Yeah. Yeah.
then what did you do?
Then you insert a pivot table.
Yeah, pivot table is also inverted.
That is
Inserted.
also insert. Okay. And then then did you see the field list on the right hand
Yes, I
side?
selected this.
Okay. So did you get this table, pivot table?
Yes.
Okay. Now in pivot table tools, do you see this pivot chart as a button?
Wait a minute. Pivot table tools is in the home button. Where
Pivot
it-
table analyze.
analyze. No, I'm not getting it. Pivot table analyze.
Yeah.
Then
Click on that pivot chart
pivot chart. Yes. Okay,
and
got it.
select line. Yeah. Yeah. Then you should be able to get this. Has everybody got it? Just give me a minute. Yeah. So everybody facing any challenge so far? Okay, so now we have got this chart, okay, which is showing us some good visual display, but this is for the entire company, right? Now we want to see how it is country wise, because there are different countries. So how is it going to be country wise? So for that, what we'll do, so obviously one is I can add a column and we can filter on it and so on. This is a better way of filtering. We're basically using filters, but we'll use a element called slicer. So what you do is then again go to pivot table analyze, okay, and there is a button called insert slicer. Click on that, and then here you will pick up country and state. Please go to pivot tables tools and analyze or pivot table analyze tab. It may be named differently depending on the version of Excel you're using. It will be either called the pivot table tools and then analyze, or it's a pivot table analyze. Either way, go to insert slicer there and click on country and state and say OK. And here you get to slicer. Now look at this slicer. This is pretty interesting. These are visual components. Okay. So this one, for example, is a single column thing. Right. Now once you get this slicer and when you select it, you also get a new tab called as slicer tools. Okay. And you can see that there are different styles that you can use. So you could pick up any style. Let me click and pick up something. Okay. And something which is more useful is also you can select the number of columns. So I can just pick up some number of columns, maybe this one, and then I can expand it a little bit. Yeah, so I could have this kind of a slicer over here. Now, interestingly, you could see that in the data itself, that when you look at the data here, you may see that for each country there is a state. Like Australia is a Victoria state, Canada, British Columbia. You can go down, you can see this different states for the country. Now you could do this. Look at here also. So if I select Australia, when I'm filtering on Australia, then it will only show 5 states on which you can filter, which is obvious because other values will not make sense, right? So it will kind of select that. So you can say Queensland. Now let me just quickly see here. The chart is changing. When I say Australia, let's say Canada, this is changing, right? The chart, the trend line is changing. It's different over here. When I say France, it changes. And in France, let us say look at Nord as a state, the trend is also change. Okay. It's a sales trend basically. So it's kind of a changing over here. Now I always have this facility called clear filter here, which I could do. And there's also facility called multi-select. So I could select Nord. Sorry, I'll select Nord, and then I may want to select other. I could just press Control and select as many states as I want. So I could do that. Similarly, if I just clear filter here also I can look at maybe France, Germany, uh, European countries. So basically look at France and Germany. And if you want to call UK as also European country, then you can click on that three, and you see this is a trend that we are seeing over there. And obviously you see the relevant states in this. Now obviously you can clear this off and then arrange it a little better. So maybe you could go and make this smaller. So you could have this country here and the state here, and you may need to make it, or you may just want. Now here we now try to fit in things. So we may want to get rid of formula bars and headings, and you could have this kind of a dashboard out here. So this is how you could look at a sales trends, and this data is also here with you if you want to.
Sir, I'm not able to get a grid view. I'm only getting a list view in the country and state. So
Uh,
did you get it?
You're not getting what is said.
The grid view in country you're getting
Okay. So here
two
what I'm
columns.
doing in a slicer tool, there is a columns setting here. So I'm changing it to 5 columns or 6 columns. By default, the 1 column. So this you can change it to as many columns as you want. Could you get it now?
Got it.
Okay. Okay. As everybody got, let me know once you are done. I mean, take your time, take a couple of minutes to do this, but try to get something like this. Try to get something like this. You could do it a little better also, not necessarily you have to do this way only, but try to get it something better than this.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you repeat this? Actually, my connection, internet connection got disconnected at that time. When you think you are telling about the slicer.
Okay. So what you could do when you are on this pivot table, you have to go to pivot table tools, analyze,
Okay.
and analyze. You have an insert slicer. So you can click on insert slicer, and you can select country and state. These two slicers that you could select. Okay. And then once you get a slicer, what we have done here is that we could select a style, whichever you want. You have a different options, and you can select the number of columns. So here for country, I have made it 2. Earlier it was 1, so I made it 2. And for uh, state, I have made 6. So you could do that. And
Okay.
obviously, you could do many more things. You can change the style differently. This is a visual element, so you can bring forward, send backward. This is all we use in PowerPoint. Alignment. If you want this and state to be aligned, I can select this with a shift click, and then I align them at top. So it is aligning it properly now. So since I said this is a dashboard, we have a very limited space. So we want to really arrange it. So I have also gone ahead and uh, kind of hide this grid lines we already hidden. Formula bar and headings also I kind of got rid of. So it may not look like Excel anymore because your column headings and row headings are gone. And I can also get rid of formula bar, and I could get this kind of a screenshot. Obviously, if I press F Control F1, then I could get rid of that ribbon also, and I get a more space to look at. Sorry. So let me know once you are done by putting done, or if you have not done, please let me know because this is important. What we're doing more of this going forward with some incremental thing, but it's a very important stage that everybody should be reach at this stage. So if you have not reached at this stage, please let me know. Take a couple of
Designing
minutes.
part, can you show once?
Okay, designing in a sense, uh, the
Country and state, the columns I had set.
ha, that you have made it 2 columns, right? And
Options.
yeah,
Okay.
and then you could also look at the style. So slicer tools option is what you could look at. When you click on that, then only you see it. If you click elsewhere, you don't see that tab. So only when you click on it, you will see the tab. Only when you click on the pivot table, you will see pivot table tools tab. It may name little differently. Sometimes it's, I think some version says pivot table analyze, pivot table design. So that could be the case. So when you click on a particular element, it will open that tab. Yeah.
The slicer steps background.
Yeah, that you can change with those slicer style. So you can select the style that you want by click on the slicer first, then go to slicer tool option and click on the slicer styles. You could pick up the one which you like.
Slicer option.
Yeah. Did you get it?
No, sir. I think there is no option.
Did you click on the slicer?
Yeah, slicer options.
Yeah. Did you get this tab, slicer option tab?
Bring. This one bring forwards and backward.
Okay.
These all things are there,
Okay.
but left side the slicer styles is not there.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Let everybody help him to figure it out.
You can see, sir.
Not yet. Yeah, it is coming in. Yeah. So when you're clicking on this thing,
Here I click
option,
options.
yes.
These all are there, but
Click on options. You're not clicked on option yet. Click on options. That's
Achha. Okay.
how you see it.
Okay.
Fine.
Sir, here one more thing. Now I had clicked on Australia or Canada.
Mhm.
Those states are showing. If again I need to see a entire country, where should I click?
The filter cancel clear filter button in the country
This one.
next to that. Yeah, yeah. Then you can just click on that.
Okay.
You can see.
Okay. So we need to remove the filter.
Yes. Just like we have a clear filter thing. This is actually a filter. It's a visual filter.
Right. Okay. Done, sir.
Yeah. Good. You can stop sharing now. Okay. So it's 10:43 for me. So should we take a break now here?
Okay, sir. No issue. We can continue also.
Yeah. So
Your
then let us
session is interesting.
yeah. So let us take a break here, like a 15 minutes break. Started again at 11. But those of you who have still got some issues with it so far, please stay back and we'll resolve those issues and take a break. But if you're done so far you have seen, what is there on the screen, got the slicer, got the chart correctly and all that. They can break now and come back before 11 so that we can start at 11. But those who have not got it so far, please stay back. So is there any
सर मीटिंग कट करके ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं या ओपन ही रहना है?
open ही रहने दे, कोई issue नहीं. I think I'll keep it
Open ही रहना था.
open ही रहने दे.
ओके, कट करके नहीं ना जाना.
नहीं, no need to cut it. Just
ठीक.
keep it open. Huh? So is there anybody who needs help? You can share your screen now. If you have got what we have covered so far, then we can take a break now. So is there anybody who needs help? Want to share the screen?
I think we can continue.
No, I think let us take a break. For 15 because we have to go after 1 o'clock. So we have to we'll be taking a break in between. So we'll take a break now for 15 minutes. At 11 we'll start and then we will go for 2 hours straight or maybe take a 5 minutes break. But let us get back by 11. Yeah. So we'll start at
Sure,
11.
sir. Okay, sir.
हाँ फोन किया था। अरे कुछ नहीं, ट्रेनिंग चल रही है यार, तब ब्रेक दिए 10 मिनट। 10 मिनट का ब्रेक है, 1 बजे तक ट्रेनिंग है।
హలో ఆ పిల్లకి ప్రోటీన్ ఫుడ్ పెడతాను కొట్టారు
क्या करोगे? हाँ बोले तुम तो
राजेश ये तुमने पहले किया था ना? हाँ
हाँ ओके। बोला था ना 1-2 दिन पहले किसी को उसमें जाना है, सेक्शन में पता नहीं क्या था।
गुरु सर आपका
वही बोला तुमने सेक्शन तो खुल गया। ओके हाँ 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 अच्छा 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 हाँ नहीं इसीलिए मैंने फोन नहीं किया ना, मेरे को मालूम है इधर उधर में जल्दी रहती है ना, कोई मतलब नहीं। और मैं भी तो रेडी किया था, मैं 8:15 तो गया हूँ यहाँ से, फटाफट 10 मिनट किया अपना प्रोग्राम किया, फिर इसको फोन लगाया। मैं तो मेरे 9:30 मेरा स्टार्ट होना था यहाँ कंप्यूटर पे ट्रेनिंग, 2 किलोमीटर कर दिया फटाफट। आज मूड नहीं था ना जाने का, दुकान का फोन नहीं है तो मैं जाता नहीं था, काम बंद करता है। ओ अभी भी है क्या? हाँ वो नॉर्मल है, तो उसकी वजह से उसके बाद कूल डाउन नहीं करता ना। हाँ तो वही रीजन है। हाँ और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट वो है 8 मिनट रनिंग का मतलब करेगा, लेकिन हमेशा तो विकेट कर रहा है। और बाकी था बस कुछ नहीं। जब इसका फोन आया था कहना का फोन नहीं आया था, वो आया था मैं पर्सनल मैसेज हुआ था उनका, उनका मैसेज आया था, उनका भी आने का प्लानिंग है। हाँ, आज करने वाला रजिस्टर कहते मैं क्या बताओ रजिस्टर करते हुए आपका। नहीं नहीं अर्ली बट नहीं, वो तो ओपन ही रहेगा ना लिंक, तो अब फुल पैसा देना पड़ेगा ना। हम्म हैं? क्या नहीं नहीं अभी कहाँ देखा है, अभी तो चल रही है, 10 मिनट का ब्रेक है तो मैंने बस कॉल है। क्या मैसेज? डेट ही डाला और कुछ उसमें था कि नहीं पूरा क्लियर किसने कहाँ जाना है क्या करना है कुछ मैप मैप डाल दिया। अच्छा ऐसा था क्या? तो कौन गया था? कोई गया था क्या? सचिन गया? सचिन गया था? कोई भी गया? कहीं क्या है कोई ना कोई नोटिस तैयार हो नहीं कर सकते कौन से चलो अपना काम से करना। और जब सुबह से डालेंगे तो फिर लोग वो ग्रुप भी इसी में जुड़े हैं। एक बार लगाऊंगा ना 9:30 से इसमें कराऊंगा तो मैं 1 बजे तक नहीं खाली होगा। 1 बजे के बाद ही देखना। 3 ब्रेक चल रही है 5 मिनट रह गए 5 मिनट ही रह गए 3 मिनट रह गए सर। और अभी चल रहा उसके बाद 1 बजे भी होगा। चल ठीक है। Sir,
Yes.
actually, I have a question. When I pressing like in the country,
Mhm.
one country the data is coming up, okay,
Mhm.
in the line bar. But in the second, when I pressing the second country, there is no data showing in the line bar.
Can you share your screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think this is present now. Screen is.
It will take a minute actually to just come up. It's not yet been seen. It should take a minute. Just share it. I think it will take some time. Did you share your screen?
I am trying.
Okay.
Share your entire screen. I do want to
Yeah.
share the data.
Or you can select a window. That will be cool. Yeah, I think it is coming up. Yes.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Like when I pressing Germany, this line bar is there.
Huh.
When I pressing Canada or some other countries, nothing is coming up.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Can you click on the pivot table? The left hand side.
Here,
Yeah. There. I've got revenue over there.
in sales data, things are there.
Huh. Okay. थोड़ा अजीब है. I think let everybody also look at it. I think. What could be the problem here? Can you just do one thing? Can you first clear the filter, both the filter? Yeah, and just go the other pivot, other slicer also you clear the. So you may want to close. Yeah, just yes. Now click on Australia. Okay. Click on France.
Yeah, now coming up.
Yeah. So what would have happened is that you would have put some filter there in the state also and a country also. So
Okay.
that kind of there is no data for say Australia and you select, let us say you United Kingdom. Now you click on Georgia in state or any other state. Just click anywhere else except England. Click on any
Okay.
other. Yeah. Now click on any other state which is
Here
not.
itself.
Yeah. Now it will kind of gone, right. So you need to clear the filter clearly because there is no data for France
Okay.
as a country and Charent as a state. So that's why it is showing zero, no data.
So by the
Okay.
way,
You need to clear the
is it
filter.
fetching? I mean, global data. I mean, country wise, whichever states are there, they just put it, and if there is no data, it doesn't show.
Yes, yes, that's correct. So it is giving you indication that these are the relevant ones, but you can select something else also. In this case, there is no data. So hence there is a problem. Yeah, now once you clear that filter, you will see the data correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I am stop sharing.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So everybody there, can we have a quick group photo? I mean, can we take a? If you switch on your videos, we can take a quick photo. Yeah, we're waiting for Atul.
Rajesh is not there.
Rajesh is there. His wife connection he is using.
I think he is not there.
No, Rajesh is there. Tejasvi head out. His wife.
गुरु सर
हाँ कहाँ तेरा वीडियो
Yes, Atul, can you also switch on your video for a minute? We'll just quickly take a group photo.
अच्छा okay.
Yeah, smile please. Yes. Thank you. Let
Thank
me
you,
see
sir.
what I got.
Sir, starting trouble. This Excel, we need to convert the sheet. Na? Can you
Do you want to
normal
share
data
your
sheet?
screen?
Okay.
Yes. Any issue?
So you can see my screen.
Yes.
To convert this to the format.
Click inside and then just say in Home tab. Go to Home tab in the ribbon. To the format as table. Can you click on that?
Format.
Format as table. Uh, if you look at the ribbon, yeah, there it
Okay,
is.
okay, okay.
Just
Done.
click on that and you can select the one which you want.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I just posted the group photo in the WhatsApp group. Just go in there. Okay. So let us go to, let me share my screen first. Yeah, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Uh, Now, when using Google Meet, what I would generally recommend uh, is that you should change the layout. So, for example, right now this is a layout, and I can see Excel only in a small window. So you can change the layout and make it spotlight. Typically, it's auto. It works in most of cases, but since we are getting into a training mode, you may want to make a spotlight. And then I can also, let me just switch off the video. I can also minimize this. And if required, you can make it F11 to make it full screen so that you see the entire Excel sheet. Otherwise, you will see the Excel sheet which is not in a smaller area, which may not be readable. So typically change layout to uh, Spotlight, which will basically bring the shared window in Spotlight, and you may do F11 to make it full screen so that you will get the Excel sheet as if you are seeing on your own screen. So that is how you should kind of do it. Okay, so now we have done so far. We have formatted a table, we created a pivot table, and then we created a pivot chart. Now let us go ahead and create another pivot chart. So let us go back to sales data, insert. This time we'll do pivot chart. I mean, it's one and the same thing. It doesn't really make a difference, but just that we'll see a different way of doing it. Again, we'll see a select of table or range. Table is table one, and just say OK. And when you do this pivot chart thing, you only see a chart area out here. That's all. Nothing more than that you see here. Yeah. And now we want to create a. Now here we want to do a profit. Look at the profit. So I hope you have created a column called profit. Okay, if you're not, then you can use revenue also. Doesn't really matter. Since I have a profit column here, I just take that. Click on this, it will go here. So sum of profit, which I can see. So instead of a table, I can see a chart. And instead of table, also you see a chart over here. So you see the profit, and I want to do, let us say, age wise. So I have a age here. So I click on age, and here I see age wise profit. So age has come here in values. I should bring it to category. So I bring it here. Okay, now I get it like this. Yeah. You may do it along with me. That is maybe a good idea. Or whenever I take pause, you can catch up. Either way, whatever you're comfortable with, you can follow the style of your own, of your choice. Now, what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a bar chart with this age on the x-axis, and always I can make remove the chart title, hide rather, not remove, hide chart title and legend and grid lines, and I see a chart here. Now this is good. This is not bad, but typically I may not really want to have for each age value. I obviously, by the way, if you make it larger, okay, it will actually expand a little bit. You can see more numbers. Okay, if you make it a little larger, you will see that you see more numbers here on x-axis. But what I want is basically age group kind of a thing. So for that, there is a feature of pivot table actually that you could do. You can click on anywhere, and this should be available in Excel 2013 and above. Just check, confirm it also. You go inside this first column anywhere, right click. There's a facility called group. You can click on group, okay, and it says starting at 17 and ending at 87. That's the data that we have got, and a group of 10. So let me not start at the thing. Let me start at 0 and end at 100 because that may make more sense for me. And then I say by 10. So I say okay, and I see this kind of a table. Obviously, it doesn't start with 0. It starts with 10 to 19 because that's kind of a data that we have got. Let me just make it a little smaller now. Okay, and I get this kind of a chart. Okay, this is better as a bar chart because there are different bars. And then if you have 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, age group wise, you may feel it is not good. Maybe you can change it. You can make a group as a group of 5. So you have more bars basically. You could do that also. And this is how it will look like. This is a profit. If you feel these bars have too much of space, you can format this. You can format data series, and you have a gapped width of around 219. You can reduce it. You can make it. Mm, sorry, I guess it's. You can change the gap width and all that. Here you can do this. Yeah. So that some formatting that you could do, and then there is not much here actually, but there is some data here, right? So that's the reason you see this kind of numbers. You don't see much there, but if you make it a little bigger, maybe you'll see some data over here. There is some numbers, but they're too small to be shown as a graph here. So this is how you could get it. Yeah. So what I want you to do is do this and also add a slicer. By now you know how to insert a slicer, right? So add a slicer uh, for three things: product, category, subcategory, and product. There are three fields. So insert a slicer, uh, create this chart, and then insert a slicer. Do that, and then tell me once you're done. Let me not do it right now. You already know how to create a slicer. So just create a three slicers this time: product category, subcategory, and product, and just place it along. And once you're done, just put in the chat window that you're done. I hope you got the kind of exercise, right? You have to get this done so far by a bar chart, and then insert of three slices, and then arrange them properly. Actually, arrange them in the right hand side. That would be a good idea to do it here. We have a space over here, so please arrange it there. And then once you are done, put it in the chat window that you are done. Yeah, so your time starts now. Let us see who finishes first.
हेलो
Yes.
सर,
Yeah.
स्लाइसर कौन सा चाहिए?
Product category, subcategory, and product. तीन column है ना?
ओके,
So yes, we need these three.
डन.
सर इसमें क्या क्या चाहिए? प्रोडक्ट,
Product category, subcategory, and product. Product category, subcategory, and product. Three columns.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. So the grouping part,
Yeah.
how have you done it? Grouping. Grouping of
What
row
is that?
labels.
Bridging.
Grouping of row labels.
Ha. Yes. So click anywhere inside a cell
Yeah. So
in the
right
first
click
column.
and there's a group, but in the group there is saying seconds,
Yeah.
minutes, hours, days, months. Select.
Yeah. Can you share your screen? Let us look at it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Are you sharing your screen, Nikhil?
No, I'm not getting the option. I'm not getting the option.
No. You can just click on that present now button in the Google. So there is a one for the mic, there's a video, CC, hand, and then there's a fourth kind of upward row. Click on there and
Yeah,
click
yeah,
on
okay,
the
sir.
video.
Okay.
sir. The product category, subcategory, and product. This should come in the same sheet or a different sheet?
In the same sheet. Here it's
Okay.
okay. Nikhil, we were looking at age. I guess you got year, looks like.
Uh, I'm looking at what?
Customer age. So you can cancel this. Show me the pivot table, the field list.
Supposed to go like this only, no?
No, don't do that. Just go to pivot table analyze but menu bar
Table
and
analyze.
click on the field list on the right hand side. On the right
Field
hand
list.
side,
Field
field.
list.
Yeah. Yes, click there. Okay. So what you have got in rows is date.
Okay.
What I asked actually is the age. not date.
Okay, sir.
So you can unselect that date, yeah, and put a customer age, which is I think the third one, fourth one. Sorry, fourth one. Yeah, you can drag it in the rows area, that particular one.
Getting some issues.
Yeah, you can simply drag it down to rows.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, got it.
it-
I'll try again because it's
Okay,
some.
go to that. Yeah, go to. So click on the pivot table first. Click on the pivot table.
Okay,
Uh,
so pivot chart analyze and then
Field.
here
Yeah,
customer age.
you click on there. Otherwise, you click there. Yeah,
Okay,
it has gone here. You can bring it to axis if you want. I mean, that will be better idea. So bottom right, you see a legend series values. It has gone there.
bottom right here,
Yeah.
values and access. You can
Ha.
see.
So what is that called? Sum of customer age has gone to values. Right? Bring it to axis. So just drag it to axis. Customer age should come in the axis area.
Okay, access. Okay, is it?
And now in the values you have seen that sum of customer age. Just click on the drop down and remove that from there. You can just click and remove click on the drop down button, and I think there's a remove field. Yes, now it is correctly done. Now you go ahead and click inside that pivot table.
Okay,
The first row, first column, you see 17, 18. Yeah,
okay.
there
Now
you,
I can group it.
yeah.
Okay, group it as by say by
Now you
10. Yeah.
10, 100, whatever number that you feel comfortable.
Okay, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, you can stop sharing. So let me go ahead and share my screen now. So just add this three slicer, insert slicer, product category, product subcategory, and product three, and then I can arrange them here. I wanted to arrange here product category, subcategory. I'll arrange, and then I have a product. Okay. So this is what I got. Now there is one more thing. So if you go on this analyze again, pivot table analyze, there's also this thing called the insert timeline. Okay. Now if you click on insert timeline, you will see only one field called date. So this is applicable only for the data which has the date format. Okay. So if you go to the sales data, uh, if you go sales data, you see a date here, and you can see the format is date format. If you go somewhere else, you see a format as general, number format is general. But if you go to date, the format is date. Number format is date. Then if you look at, by the way, year, it's a general format. It's not a date. Huh? So only date column is has a date format. So hence, once we go ahead and click insert timeline, I see only date here. I click on date and say OK. I see a timeline. Okay, this is what a timeline would mean. Okay. Now again, it's a similar to it's a filter only, but it's just a little different filter applicable only for the timeline or only for the date fields. Now let me just do some quick formatting here. First of all, I will select quarters because they will make more sense here. Okay, and I get a quarter. Okay, and I can just expand a little bit. I think this is what it is. Up to 2016, we have got data. So this is fine. and I can click on it and I will see this thing changing. So in quarter one of 2011, it was a different. Quarter four of 2011, there was a different. For us, this age group was more profitable. More profit was came from this age group. If you do it maybe up to 2013, we had again age group gave more profit. And as we progressed further, uh, we still had the same 25 to 29 is kind of giving 30 to 34 also started giving good profit. And then we could get, you know, overall. And you see that, other age groups also started giving more profit. So if you look at only 2016 quarter one, maybe 40 to 44 is giving more profit. So you could actually look at quarter by quarter and that kind of a thing. So just like Slicer, you could also format it. So you could see your timeline tools, timeline options here. I can do some kind of uh, coloring here. Okay, so let me just do this. Yeah, and then I can also here only thing you may want to do is to get rid of as many things as possible. So I can get rid of scroll bar, header, even a selection label for that. Change it a little bit. Yeah, and this is good. You could always have a scroll bar here in a way. So that's not that you don't have a scroll bar. Or you may want to expand it a little bit more. So that another way you could do it. So this is how you could get a timeline. And some people like it, some people don't like it. It's kind of a choice that you want to add, but this also give a good interaction effect. That you
Sir,
make a
initial
change.
insertion, can you repeat it once again?
Sorry, initial. Hello. Is there a doubt? Okay. Yeah. So you could get this kind of timeline and you could kind of play with it, see how best you could do it. It has a similar features. You could look at what you want to hide, what you want to show, and accordingly set it up. So again, take some time, 2 3 minutes to set it up. And if you have any difficulty in getting up to this point, please tell me, share your screen. We can resolve those issues.
स्टार्ट कहाँ से करना है सर टाइमलाइन के लिए?
Timeline के लिए first you click on the pivot table
हम्म,
and then analyze and then insert timeline. And you will see
ओके.
only date. Click on that and that will bring the timeline.
Sir,
Yeah,
there was a disconnection. Can you please mention it? Sorry.
yeah. I'll tell you again. No issues. So basically, you select on a uh, pivot table,
Yes, sir.
then go to pivot table, analyze,
Hmm.
insert timeline. You'll
Okay.
get this timeline. Okay.
Okay.
Once you are a timeline, you'll
Okay.
get to click on the
That.
timeline. You will get these options. Select this thing. It also has these four elements which you can show or you can hide
Right.
depending on how do you want to do it. So you can even have it also. Yeah, this was so you could actually have all of it. You could also do only years in case you could make it shorter. Months and days are not really so useful because months will bring you kind of this thing too long a timeline. So that's a challenge. But you could have these things open for users to change it. So you can accordingly change it. Did everybody get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. I think that months and date is good for share market. I think that very frequent ups and downs and there.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Cool. Fair enough. So now, if you are everybody's done with this, then we'll move to the next chart. And I want you to do it yourself now. So basically, we want to see sales by country. Okay. So you want to see the sales data with country. I mean, you can make a bar chart basically. We'll add a slices and all that, but let us focus on the chart per se. So let us see. We want to see the sales by different countries. So just go ahead, start doing it, creating a pivot chart. Don't worry about the slicers and timeline now. We kind of got it. So now we'll focus on simply creating a pivot chart which will show country wise. And you could use a pie chart, not pie chart. You could use a bar chart. That's I think a better one. So start doing it. I will start after 3 minutes. By then you should be able to finish it. But otherwise you can wait. But I guess you can just start doing it now. So start creating a chart which shows sales by country. It is sales by country or you look, country wise sales. Either way you could call it. By the way, this was called age wise profit. So hmm. Yes. Prem, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. You said pie chart, sir.
No, bar chart. Pie chart. There are many countries. I will not be a good idea. Bar chart is the better way.
Country wise and revenue.
Sorry.
Country and revenue.
Yeah, country and revenue. Yes.
Then
Okay. So let me also quickly do it here. Let me insert a pivot chart. Yes, so revenue is the one thing that I put in the values, and I will do country. I do it here. So this is how I kind of get it. Yes, you could actually change the chart title as uh, well. Now, what we need to learn here is that what we have seen here is you see these countries in a arranged or sorted alphabetically. So you see Australia, Canada, France, Germany, and all that. But typically, when you want to show data, this is what you typically see. But whenever you are showing graphs, particularly, you should either show it decreasing order or increasing order. You should sort it on the values, not by the alphabetically, not sort of labels alphabetically, but actually sort by values. So sort by values, what we'll do, we need to click here, and there is a sorting option. We say more sort option. Sort A to Z will actually do it right now, whatever it does. Sort Z to A will bring it like this. This is not what we are looking at. We want more sort options, and there we have to say descending Z to A sum of revenue, and then I just say OK. And here you see it like a country, Australia. This is like a descending order. So this makes more sense because when you're making a presenting this chart also, you can say that USA is the maximum revenue earning country. So you could want, or Canada is the lowest in terms of revenue. So you could do that. You can also see there's a filter over here. So you could also look at this country, and maybe you want to look at only European countries. So maybe you can just not UK, and you could see that and say UK is the largest revenue making in Europe, and you could put it this. So you could always have a filter here also, not necessary that, or you can put a slicer. So why? I mean, I've seen many times people actually hide this. So if you click on analyze here, you could actually see you could hide all. So this looks clean, and you may put a slicer for country if you want to. So this is actually good, the button, but sometimes people don't want to show this button because it don't look that good. So you may want to kind of drop this. So in which case this is a way you just select here, and here you can either select exclusively. I mean you could show accessible buttons and all that. You can simply hide all. That also is good enough. So this is how you could do. So this is one thing that we should always look at, because we should never go with the alphabetical sorting of labels. Always go with the sorting of revenues. Okay, so that is one thing that you could do. So you can call it as a sales by country. Please rename the worksheet also like sales by country. Uh, Now we'll do the last pivot chart, which is called as top five products. Okay. So again, we will use a bar chart. I just create a chart which shows five products, top five products. Again, revenue. I mean, that is the revenue. Just start doing it. I will start after 3 minutes, but I'm sure you can. By then you can do it. Don't think too much about slicer and uh, timeline. Just create a chart which shows top five products. As a bar chart. You can choose a bar chart.
Top support.
By the way, did you face any difficulty in getting this? Everybody got this? If not, please tell me, share your screen, we can fix it up. But you should get this sales by country like this, sorted sorted by sum of revenues. And then once you are done with this, please create a new chart, which is top five products, which shows bar chart of top five products.
So in this sort by option,
Yeah, so it
or
is here.
ascending.
Uh, in the table, you should be able to find it. Did you get it? If not, you can share your screen. I can show it there. Yeah, you can share your screen.
You can see
Yeah,
here,
in the row label, yeah, just click more sort of.
and here
And
more options.
yeah, hold on. And then you just ascending, you can drop down the country to make drop down on the country and see sum of revenue. Yeah, also okay. Now you got it is ascending order.
Okay. And actually, this my Excel has closed, so I had restarted.
Sorry, can you repeat again?
My Excel sheet was closed, so I had restarted it.
Uh,
Actually,
okay.
earlier you were showing the date option.
Uh, okay, timeline you're kind of showing, right?
Yes,
You're looking at that sales trend. Which one you lost?
product category, subcategory, and product. After that, you had shown this date.
Timeline thing, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so there we looked at age and profit. So you can click on the customer age and bring it in the. Yeah. and then look at the profit. You have got a profit there down there. Yeah, bring it in value. Okay. So customers, you can bring it in the, yeah, you got in rows. That's fine. So you're done. Now you just go and uh, go for the pivot chart. Yeah, first you can group it. Yes. I just go to the pivot chart. Click on the pivot chart now. You see it here. Not insert pivot chart. Go to analyze. Go to analyze because we have got a pivot table. Now we should click on the pivot chart here. And then yeah, this one will also do. Column would do. Yeah, you can just say okay. Yeah, you can say okay. Yeah, now you got it. Now you could insert a timeline for this. So you could go to analyze thing and insert timeline and insert slicer. When you insert timeline, you only see date. Click on that date. Yeah, okay. And you can now format it. Again, you get that option. You could look at the styles. You could look at if you want to show something. So you can just click there on options in the ribbon. Yeah, so just click on the ribbon. In the ribbon, you have to click on the option in the tab. Yeah, yeah. There you will see all the options. And you can obviously make it larger, make it bigger. Okay, so you can,
And now we're going to ask for top five.
yes,
Top five product category, right?
uh, top 5 products by revenue. You can get, yeah, that's perfect. Product, then you can get revenue. Yes, and now get a pivot chart. Don't go to insert. In this analyze itself, you will get a pivot chart. Yeah, click on that, and then you will need a column chart. Yes. Now, what is the problem that you see here?
All clumsy.
All, yeah. So now we need to do a top 5. So to do the top 5, you need to filter it, right? So what
Oh,
you could do, you click on that row label drop down. There is a drop down button there, but not there. On that there is a, yeah, triangle there. Yeah. Go to filter and go to value filters. There are two filters, label and value. Go to value filter, and there you see top 10 near the bottom.
hmm.
Click on that.
Here we can select.
Yeah. Here actually it's not necessarily top only. It could be bottom also.
Yeah.
So you want to top or bottom. So here we say top 5. Yeah. So we'll say top 5. Top 5 items by sum of revenue. Okay. And here you could see. Now again we want to sort it now because that will make sense. And here you should sort descending order because you want to see the topmost at the left. So again you go to the same, click on that thing,
Now
uh,
in triangle.
sort options, select descending, uh, and then sum of revenue, and then say okay. And you should be able to get this.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So now also do one thing. Now this is, if you read, look at this chart now. The challenge is the product names are not seen that properly.
Hmm.
So this is where you should use the bar chart. So just click on the analyze button in the ribbon, and there is a pivot chart. Also, actually, go to design. Sorry, go to design. Oh, I think there should be a change chart type or something. No. Okay. I think go back to analyze and click on the pivot chart only. So there is only one pivot chart anyway. So yeah, click on that and change it to bar. Yeah, and just say OK. Yeah, and again you may want to change the sorting now because it has gone differently. Yeah, you need to get rid of this chart. Actually, I will just put this in. Okay. Yeah. And you may need to change the sorting option because I think when you go descending, it goes like this. So you may want to change it. Either way you could do it. Either way you could change the sorting. Yeah, you could go ascending maybe. Yeah, somewhat driven. Okay.
Okay.
So now you kind of done.
Yes.
Now you may want to add some slicer there if you want. Cool.
Slicers.
Yeah. So you can stop sharing now. I'll also quickly do it on my screen. I guess everybody by now should have done it. If you've done it, please also add some slicer and just see how it works. You will see a different products altogether every time. So that's something which is interesting. So let me also do it here quickly. Insert pivot chart. I'll get revenue in axis. Sorry, revenue in values and product in axis. And then I just sort it. Oh, sorry, filter it. Value filtering. Top 10 I click, but I actually do 5. Okay. I change it to actually when I click on the chart, I see a design and there I have this change chart type. So instead of adding a new one, we could actually do this also. We can make it as a bar chart. And obviously I need to sort it to some of it. So if I put a slicer now here, I could see that for say each country maybe, I could see that for Australia, this is Road 150 the top product. For France, Mountain 200 is the top product. For US, Road 150 is the top product, and so on. So you could actually see that it changes with country kind of a thing. So you can look at top 5 products and see it accordingly. And here you can see that all sorting options. So you don't really need this pivot table here. You could actually look at this chart, and you could always have this filtering here, or you could also bring a filter here. So it's not necessary that you have to use this. You could also bring a filter from here for product also. Okay. Is this clear? Everything is done by now.
Yes.
Okay. So this is top.
So give some time for this.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Just take some more time. I think do something more definitely. Maybe you can also want to add a timeline for this and try out things a little bit.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
हाँ ये आपने चेंज कैसे किया है टेबल बार को?
Okay. So what I've done, I just click here and then I see pivot chart tools. So I click on the design tab and then I see a change chart type menu here.
Okay.
Okay. Can you just try it out your Excel also and see whether you get this?
एक मिनट. Change chart.
It is there.
Yes, sir.
Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So take a couple of minutes to kind of work with it a little more. If you have any difficulty, please ask. Okay, should we move ahead now?
Sure, sir.
Okay, so far what we have done is we created this pivot chart. But our aim is now to create a dashboard. Okay. So for creating a dashboard, what we'll do, we'll create a new worksheet. So before I create a new worksheet, please ensure that you have named your worksheet properly. And I'll tell you why it is required later. Just ensure that this is sales trend. Then we had age-wise profit. Then we did sales by country, top 5 products, and sales data is what we have got. So that is the original one. So just name your worksheets properly. I mean, so that before we go, so there are 4 charts that we created basically in a separate worksheet. Just name those worksheets properly. And if you want, you can even bring the sales data over here. So we have got 4 worksheets. And then create a 5th worksheet called as a dashboard. So as we discussed in the very beginning of the session, we said that dashboard is something where you can see key elements. So let us say these are 4 charts that we want to show in a dashboard. So we really need one worksheet where we put all these 4 charts. Right? So that is what we want to do it. So to do that, uh, first of all, we'll have a clear view. So we get rid of grid lines, headings, formula bar is anyway hidden, so nothing is shown. So we get a clean white kind of a thing. And then what we can do, we just go ahead, create the sales trend, click here, click on the chart, say Control C, simplistically, put it here, and then Control V, you get it here. Then go to age-wise profit. Don't worry too much about slices. You'll get them later. Uh, let us do one thing. Don't put sales trend. Too big chart. Let us get. I'll show you with the 2 charts. Then I think you can do as an exercise for other. So let me just get 2 charts only to make a life easier. Control C, I just put a dashboard, and then I do top 5 products, Control C, and then I just put it here. Okay, so I got two charts basically here, and I want to add a slicer here for this chart. So what I will do, I'll click on any one of this chart. Let us say sales by country is what I selected, and then I would say again same thing, insert slicer. So I click on insert slicer, and uh, let us say I get it not with the country. Let me do it with product category. Okay, now I get a slicer here. Let me just start with one slicer just to indicate how this thing. Okay, so I got a one slicer over here. Now if I look at, I click on this accessories, I see this sales by country is changing. If I change it, these things are changing. Now the problem is it is only affecting this chart. This slicer is only affecting this chart because that is how we first selected this one and then inserted a slicer accordingly. Right? So that is how it is working. But what about this chart? Now it doesn't make sense to bring in a new slicer or product category for this chart. We want only one slicer for a particular field. It doesn't make sense to bring different slicers. So to do that, you click on this product category. This is very important. Uh, Click on, right click, and here get report connections. So report is a verb noun here. So we have different connections. Now when you see it here, you see that this is linked to pivot table 3. Now we have pivot table 1, 2, 3. We have not named them properly, but this pivot table 3 is in sheet called sales by country, which is what it is, sales by country. Okay. We want it to also link it to our top 5 products, which is here. Click here and say OK. And now look at this. If you change it, it will happen for every one of it. I mean, for both of it. Right? If you get third chart, you'll also get the same effect. If you get fourth chart, you'll get the same effect. Now, is this only for slicer? No, it's also for timeline. So this time let me select this, go to analyze, insert timeline, get a date timeline here. Now let me not format it so much, just get it here. Right click, report connections. Again, I see only for top 5 products. I want to also select for sales by country. I click on this and say OK. And now whenever I see it, sorry, now this, let me change it to quarters. I would see that change happening in both the charts. So I could get one timeline and this will change both the charts. So you could have as many charts as required, obviously that you can fit in, and then bring as many slicers and let the slicers kind of control what should be seen in those charts. Is this clear to everyone? Any questions? Now please do it. Now I have done only 2. You may do 3, 4, your choice. You may put as many slices as you want. As a matter of fact, I would suggest that take next 5 to 10 minutes to create own dashboard. Yeah. Or let me just quickly check. Is there any queries? Is it clear to every one of you?
Yes.
Okay. So what we'll do, we'll, so this is the plan of action for next 1 hour. Let me just, what we'll do now is that I want you to see this, do it yourself. This is like an exercise basically. Create a dashboard with as many charts. We have created 4 charts. Create those charts, put uh, slicers and all that. You put that slicer and timeline, which are common for all the charts. So they put that part of it there. And create a dashboard which looks like properly organized things, because you'll now realize that how less space that you have got. You don't want to have a scroll bar, right? So you need to ensure that you get the right charts, and not necessarily put all 4 charts. Maybe put 3 charts and organize slicers accordingly and create a dashboard. Okay, and at the end of it, we'll want like to see your dashboard. So you can, every one of you should share your screen and show to everyone in the class saying that this is what you prepare, right? So it should take 10 to 15 minutes or so. Okay. Uh, Now actually we'll be finishing early, but as I said, there is one topic which is called conditional formatting, which I want to discuss, which is also an important aspect for making a good dashboard. So, uh, can you just raise your hand? How many of you really want to? I mean, want to learn it? Because what we can do, we'll now take a kind of a 5 minutes break, and then give you 10 minutes, and then you can show me your dashboards, and we can quickly discuss that. So we'll be done by 12:30. Okay. And those who want to learn about uh, conditional formatting can stay back after 12:30. Others can leave. If you already know conditional formatting, you can leave. So Nikhil has raised hand. Who are the people who like to stay back after 10, after 12:30? Please raise your hand if you want to stay back after. Yeah, so I see four people raised hand. Three. Okay, yeah, four. Yeah, so four of you can stay back after 12:30, and if you already know about conditional formatting, you can leave at 12:30. So we'll have a session till 12:30 for this, and conditional formatting is a topic that will take for half an hour from 12:30 to 1. Okay. So what I suggest, take a 5 minutes break, like a comfort break. I'll be coming back at 12:05, and then take 10 minutes to make a dashboard. At 12:15, I will call upon every one of you, or you can volunteer to show your own dashboard. We'll have a 10-15 minutes discussion there, and then 12:30 we'll finish with dashboard using pivot chart, and then we'll start with conditional formatting at 12:30. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us take a small, quick comfort break. Come back at 12:05, and I'll be coming back 12:05, and then you can work on the dashboard on your phone. Just a break, 5 minutes, and be back. Yes, I'm back, and I hope everybody's doing their own, getting their own dashboard by now. So I'm here. If you have any queries, please ask. As you're doing something on your own, I'm sure you'll get some new queries. So please feel free to ask questions.
और वो डेट का स्लाइडर कैसे अटैच करना?
Uh, date का slicer, नहीं slicer is
स्लाइडर तो
the timeline.
हाँ टाइम में
So that you can click on this pivot table, go to analyze, and then you'll see insert timeline.
नो to move the screen left and right for
Okay,
the
can you share your screen? I can, then I can see it better.
this is my screen.
Yeah.
Sales revenue, country wise sales, age group, top 5 brands. Date.
Yeah. So what do you want to
Now here this is quarter wise. Now if I need to say 2011,
do?
how should I go back?
Okay. Okay. Do you want to enable the scroll bar then? Just click on this and go to, just click on this thing. Go to options, timeline tools options in the ribbon. Yeah, your scroll bar is there. So you may need to expand it more. So you just expand it vertically, not horizontally, vertically you need to expand. The scroll bar is down there. Yeah, you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it. Yes. Perfect.
This one I have mixed up. Now accessories, country wise sale, age group. Here if I see in accessories, in this age group, there is no sale.
Sorry, in age group. Oh, there is no data here in age group.
For bikes,
Okay, for bikes you should have something. What you have done is you have got a grand total.
9,000.
Now, yes,
Hmm.
yes, I think yeah, that is where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Yes.
Hmm.
You can stop sharing now. Once you are done, please let me know. I think we'll wait for 5 more minutes and then we'll ask for volunteers to share your screen. And when you share your screen, hide all the records and all. Yes.
Sir, ये दोनों दो टेबल कैसे कनेक्ट करने हैं इसमें?
सॉरी,
जो दो टेबल जो है, लाइक टू टेबल्स इन डैशबोर्ड, लाइक स्लाइसर के अंदर, हाउ टू कनेक्ट बोथ द टेबल्स?
can you share your screen? इसका screen दिखा देखिए so that I can see it. Yeah, I can see your screen now. Now you can open that Excel. Yeah, open that Excel window. Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
Like this, both the
Hmm.
sheets, both the these charts, how to connect in this slicer?
Okay. So just right click on this slicer. Right click. Yeah, and there's a report connections.
Report connections. Okay.
Yes. Click on that. Now it is connected to age-wise profit. You also want to do it for the sales by country. So you can just check on that checkbox. Click on the checkbox, second checkbox. Yeah, and say okay. Yeah. Okay. Now you try it out. Okay, second देख लो bikes. Okay. And then there is clothing also.
But
So
in first chart there is nothing is showing.
Which is strange. You can clear all the filters. First, clear all the filters. Okay. Now click on clothing. Oh, okay. Now this is happening. Go to your worksheet
Age-wise.
of this age-wise profit. Yeah, just click there, and there can you clear all the filters there? Because they are working on the same thing, so you can clear all the filters there. Yeah, you want to, yeah, just clear all the filters. Product category also you can clear all the filters there. You can just close the format chart area, and yeah, the product category you can clear all filters.
Where? Here.
Yeah, here, yes. Yeah. Now go to your dashboard. Yeah. Now you see this data. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was out there. That's why it was showing only that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
You can stop sharing now. So typically you would only put charts in individual worksheets and then bring them in a dashboard worksheet and then add those slicers in. This is how we'll do. Now, since we are learning, we got those slicers there in individual worksheet. But when you create a dashboard, to create a pivot table and a corresponding pivot chart in one worksheet, name it correctly, and create a dashboard worksheet where you'll copy paste the charts so that the tables will don't come over there. That is how you typically create a dashboard. Good. So it's 12:15. So is anybody done? If you're done, you can just mention in the chat window that you're done. Or you can continue to do it. I mean, no harm. Yeah, Atul is done. So let me make a note of it. So far Atul has said he is done. So Atul, would you like to share what you have done?
Yes, sir. दिख रहा है सर?
Not yet. I think it will come.
विंडो
Uh,
चेक करना है ना, विंडो शेयर।
there's a upward arrow दिख रहा है ना
हाँ,
आपको, प्रेजेंट
वो
नाउ
क्लिक
करके,
किया,
वहाँ पे
तो उस पे पूछ रहा है कि टैब
विंडो
एंटायर स्क्रीन और विंडो।
या ओनली एक्सेल विंडो इज व्हाट, सो जस्ट ड्रॉप डाउन एंड वहाँ पे एक्सेल दिखेगा, जस्ट सेलेक्ट दैट.
दिख रहा है?
Not yet. आ रहा है. Yes. Now it is coming up. Yes. Now we can see it. Oh, okay. Cool. You done it colorful. Very nice. Okay. So you got a sales trend here.
चेंज हो रहा है?
हाँ. Yes. Okay. Cool. So is it changing everywhere?
हाँ, ये सब हो रहा है सर।
So I think वो top right वाला जो है age wise उसमें नहीं change दिख रहा है ना?
हो रहा है, हो रहा है।
हो रहा है. Okay. So what we can do additionally is that add a chart title. So अभी वो जो total दिख रहा है ना, for example top left वाला chart में, you can double click and edit text there. हाँ. I just say oh क्या हो गया? And then say it's a sales trend करके. So it will be kind of understood. So थोड़ा scroll up कीजिएगा. चला गया क्या वो? You can just
वो डिलीट हो
undo कर
गया।
दीजिएगा. undo किया तो भी हो जाएगा आपका.
क्या करना है सर?
Control Z undo कीजिएगा, so you will be able to go back to yeah. अभी right click and say edit text, or you can simply start typing inside. Yeah. No, I think you're okay. You're there itself actually. So you can just edit text and just type sales text. So that's perfect. Particularly here, this was age wise. Age wise profit का किस profit का ना, ये trends नहीं है. This was sales age wise profit. Did you do profit or sales किया आपने? Okay. Then यहाँ पे it is the top 5 products. I think this is okay. One more thing that you can do in the top left sales trends में, you can click on the plus sign for the chart. और right में plus sign दिखता है, देखो top plus में, नहीं वहाँ पे नहीं, chart पे click कीजिएगा. हाँ, जो plus sign दिखता है क्या? Uncheck that legend. Uncheck legend. हाँ, तो आपका थोड़ा चार्ट बड़ा हो जाएगा. Same thing you can do for others also. Uncheck that legend for everyone, because then that will, it's not adding much value. So you could simply expand it a little bit. Yes. So now it is looking perfect. Good. Excellent. I think you have got it perfectly. Yeah. So will be attending conditional formatting session.
Yes sir, yes.
Let us look at others also. You can stop sharing now. We'll look at others.
Yes.
Also.
Yes sir, yes.
Correct. Yeah, who would like to show next now? Raise your hand. Who wants to show next? Yes, who would like to show next? Who was done? So Jay has dropped out because he had some network challenge.
एक अटन
Yeah, who will like to show now? We are done with Atul. Who will come next? Okay. Meanwhile, let me share this conditional formatting data on WhatsApp. I have shared this conditional formatting data file on WhatsApp. Request is someone can send it to email also. Let me do that. Yeah. Okay, Rajesh. Okay, so I also shared this data file on conditional formatting. So you can just check whether you got it on WhatsApp. I think a couple of you don't have WhatsApp access. I have sent it uh, on email also, so you can check it out there also. Prem, are you done?
yes sir.
Yeah, can you just show your screen? I think I've seen it. Let us quickly.
Sir, is it visible?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I guess we have also got tools. One thing is that you can hide this formula bar. So you can go to view and hide the formula bar. So you can click on the view tab and click on, uncheck that formula bar. Yeah. So you get more space to look at it. Okay. And as I explained earlier, also to Atul, you could hide that total, the legend in each chart that you could do. So for top 5 brands, you can hide that total legend so that you could do. Uh, Click on that top 5 brand chart.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a plus sign that you see when you click on that. You will need to close this pivot chart fields. Yeah, there you see plus sign. Yeah, click on that and uncheck legend. Yeah, so you get little better, more space basically to work on it.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. I think this is fine. Yeah, I'm sure everybody will have a different take on this dashboard. How do you want to show?
Sir, this one period is it changing?
Yeah, this is okay. Actually, instead of months, you may want to do it quarter. So you may, because then months become too much kind of a thing. For this is a long data. If there are only 8 months data, then it will make more sense. Otherwise, it will not make sense. So you could use quarters or years as a better thing. Yes, good, good.
So I think I need to link this data.
You need to, I think, yes. Yeah, now click. Yes,
Yes.
it's changing. Yeah, yes,
Yes.
yes, perfect, perfect. Good,
Thank you,
good.
sir.
So you can stop sharing. Yeah, we will now come next. I think Jay has sent a message saying that he has a network issue, so he is not able to continue. Nikhil also has a challenge because of some laptop issues, so he's not able to do it. He will do it later by watching recording. So I'll share the recording. Uh, okay. What about Guru Darshan? Yeah, Guru Darshan. Can you show your screen?
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah, take your time. No issue. We'll wait for you. Yes. Uh, good, good. So you may want to just change the chart titles instead of saying total. You could actually change it to the uh,
Name of the chart.
yeah. So you know that, right? How to do it? You just click on the total, edit
Yes,
text.
double click, na?
Hard. I can just start typing in them because double click and start typing. Yes. So that is one thing.
Customer.
Yeah, this is I think age wise thing, right? Age wise profit. Perfect. So that's one
Right.
thing that you could change. I mean that you could do everywhere, but I think you got the point. Uh, I think otherwise it is good. You have linked to all four, right? You're
Yes. Everything is linked.
perfect, perfect, perfect. Good, good. So I guess yeah,
Oh.
that's done. I mean there is more to do. I mean it's so creative in a way. So
Right. We can do designing and all these things.
yeah. It will take its own time. So that is where people
Yes.
spend more time actually. But you got the
Right.
essence of it. Perfect.
Yes. Thank you.
You can stop sharing. Yes. Correct. So that kind of concludes our main topic and a core topic of it. So there are two peripheral topics, which is Sparkline and conditional formatting, which will kind of go ahead now. So Sparkline we already seen. We have not used it, but we have just seen this kind of ads. Similarly, conditional formatting also is very useful. It's very easy, but also very useful. So you may use it in the dashboard, or you may use it otherwise also. That's the reason I kept it separately. So do you have any queries so far? Anything that you want to ask so far?
No, sir.
Okay, so let us start with conditional formatting then. I'll let you put it on the chat in the this thing also. So, yeah, so okay, so let me just share my screen. Just open that other Excel file. Have you got the conditional formatting file?
No, sir. सिर्फ डेटा का मिला था.
गुरु सर थोड़ा भेजो ना.
Yeah, I just sent it now on WhatsApp, as well as those two of you who don't have WhatsApp access. I sent it on email. So just open it up.
Here sir.
Yeah, good. So let me share my screen now. Yes. Do you see my screen?
Yes sir.
So here I have got some tables. This is more for illustration purpose that I have put in this tables in the first worksheet called basics. Okay. So I'll just quickly show you what is simple conditional formatting is, and then I will give you 5 minutes to kind of play with your own data also. So here I got values more than 10. I want to highlight values more than 10. Now, this is a rectangular range, but it could be a single column, it could be single row. Typically, you will see single column most of the time, but this is a single row. Sorry, this is a rectangular thing. There's a conditional formatting tab there in the home tab. So it's the menu called in conditional formatting and home tab. If you click on it, it will say highlight sale rules. So it basically has kind of a pre-built, inbuilt kind of rules. So if you want say highlight values more than 10, you can simply select greater than 10. Just enter 10 here and say OK. Okay. So this is what it does. Now, what is important to note that this rule has applied to this selected area, whatever area we selected. So first you select the area. It could be a single column or a single row or a table range. Okay, you select the area, then apply a rule for it. Okay. Now once you apply it, and if the number changes, so instead of 10, 9 here, you make it 14, it get highlighted. Here is it 12, I make it 7, it doesn't get highlighted. So the rule gets applied, and if you're changing numbers, then accordingly, the highlighting will get switched on or off depending on the rule. Okay. So this is applicable more when you want to have some formulas where it is showing some value. So value could be something like project progress or profit that you're calculating. So you can highlight profit more than something or less than zero, or if it's a loss, you want to show it differently. That is where it is more useful. Here is a static values, but if you have formulas, then this highlighting will be really useful. Now this is only about say we say more than something. You could also have something like a above average. So again, I go to conditional formatting, go to highlight sale rules. You don't say anything here like this, so you go to the next one, top bottom rules, and here says above average. So I click on this, and it will only kind of get this and say for the selected range, you can highlight this, and you can have a drop down here if you want a light red field or yellow field or green field or anything of that. So you could change, and you can also define a custom format. Let me just go ahead with something simple and say OK, and I get this. Now please note, I can also select this, and in the bottom right, you would see that you can actually see the averages 11.3. Okay, and you can see all the values above 11.3 got highlighted. Now if I change this 10 to 100, now the average has changed, and you can see that uh, the average has changed to actually 13.1. Accordingly, the values have got highlighted. If I make it 1000, then obviously average has changed even further. Sorry, average has changed even further, and it has become 31.1, and hence only this value got selected. So this will keep on calculating average. Okay, and this could be useful. Then you have got to say unique values you want to highlight in again a row or a column or in the range. Here you have again here duplicate values. So when you say duplicate values, you have a option whether you want to say duplicate a unique. I say unique. Again, here I may want to have a custom format, and I say OK. It will give a custom format, so I can decide what number, what font, what border, what fill. So let me just do some filling, and it will do that. Yeah. So it could be either used for unique values. Actually, it is more useful for doing duplicate values. You want to highlight duplicate values. This is definitely useful. Now it's not only about highlighting. You could also have something called as a data bars. So click here, do conditional formatting, and click on data bars, and you could have something like this. This is pretty cool feature. Okay, what is doing here? If it is a 5, it will fill in little less. 2 very low, but if it's 18, it fills it more. So you're giving a visual indication on a sale. So it's very similar to Sparkline, but Sparkline will give a visual indication for a number of values. This will for a given value, it will give a indication. So this is pretty helpful. Again, you also have icon set, which is the next one, where you may want to have something like this. Okay. Again, It's a very approximate, not obviously perfect. So 4 you see blank circle. For 18 you see actually the values are between 1 to 20. You see a full circle. For 9 it shows half circle filled. For 5 it shows one quarter filled, and so on. So again, a good visual indication if you're looking at progress, project progress, or performance, sales performance, you could find this icon. These again icons sit within the cell, and they kind of get attached to that cell in the value. So this is kind of again handy. Now, is there something for the words? Yes. So if you look at the text like this, here you could have something like text that contains. So I want to say text that contains X. That will highlight those kind of things. So this is how the conditional formatting is. It's a pre-built feature which is already there, and you could use it the way you want. Do you have any questions? So please take next 5 minutes to explore it. And while exploring, I'm sure you'll make it 1 or 2 questions. Please feel free to ask those questions. So take 5 minutes to try it out yourself in the Excel sheet.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
For practicing, we can take numbers. I mean, to fill in the numbers, we can put functions like rand between and all, and like 1 to 20, 1 to 50, we give a range and we get some random numbers and work.
Yes.
But this is a word set. Then the word, how to get some words like fill in the data about apples or the cities or the. Do you have any? Because I don't have any idea about. Get some random data about words, text data basically.
Yeah. So I have already shared that file, so you can use that file. Uh, so
I mean, yes, I can use it, but you're just asking.
no, okay. No, so word I don't know anything there. Yeah, rand is a good function for numeric data. For this,
Numeric, but just like for word, is anything there?
yeah.
Like cities or because that's a general data.
Uh,
Cities or colors, maybe have fruits, flowers, something like that. Right?
I don't
Just to
think
play.
so. But here you could get something like this data if you want to. Like
Okay,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
okay. Weeks, months, and that.
Something like that. That I guess is available in Excel. Maybe depending on the version, but I guess this should be available.
Okay, I'll have to try.
Yeah, it's there. So it's actually a serial data. Yeah. So you can try this out.
Super. Bye, guys. Have a good stream. I gonna skip your plan. Me and please. Super. Yeah. Bye. 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 Hello.
सर यूनिक वैल्यू में क्या लगाना है फार्मूला
Unique value में
कंडीशनल
there
फॉर्मेटिंग
is a highlight cell, there is a duplicate value. तो वहाँ पे आपको
डुप्लीकेट ओके
yeah, you can either have a duplicate or unique, but the menu is called duplicate. So that is what is primarily people use to highlight duplicate values.
ओके थैंक
So duplicate value बोला तो डबल डबल जो रहता है वो है.
Yes. जो डबल टेबल कभी भी रहता है ना, so वो
Yeah,
रिक्वायरमेंट बहुत रहता है कि I find it very much useful. और डेटा आता है,
yeah.
you want to check whether there is a duplicate है, तो quickly highlight कर लेते हैं तो पता चल
In the sheet which you are showing in this, only 5 numbers are highlighted.
these are unique values. So I have used it for unique values. So for example, 9 is duplicate because it is here, it is here. Uh, but 19 is unique. So I could use this. So conditional formatting, I could use either for duplicate or for unique. I use it for unique, but you may use for duplicate also. In which case,
Acha.
it will it's a
Okay.
different thing.
Unique and duplicate. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Once you are done, please let me know you are done so that we can move ahead. You can put in the chat box once you are done. Okay. This reservation is done. So let us wait for a couple of more minutes for everyone
सर
to.
वो लास्ट वाले को क्या कैसे करना है वर्ड कंटेंट का लिए?
हाँ, वहाँ पे आपको you select this and then
हाँ
use the conditional formatting, highlight text that contains. Here I have X as a, could put
यस
anything else also, but
हाँ
that
हाँ
will
मिल गया.
find.
Sir, how to remove the multiple conditions?
How to do the multiple conditions?
Remove the multiple conditions, because words that contain X. I had once tried X, once I tried E. Both are
Okay.
getting highlighted.
So there is something called clear rules. So when you say clear rules, it's a clear rules from selected cells. So here, for example, I have got selected. There is some rule over there. So I could go ahead and say clear rules. And say clear rules. So it will
Oh,
clear the.
okay.
If I do it from say clear from entire sheet, then all the rules will go out.
All the rows will go. Okay.
Just show you that also. So all the rules are
Yes. Hmm.
fair. So now let us move on and look at the next worksheet, which is the heat map, which is the same data that you had seen earlier for the Sparkline. So here, what we want to do, I mean, the heat map is a very powerful visualization, which basically shows where the hit is. So if this is a profit data, then wherever there is a low profit, that's something which we'll say as a, or if it's something negative, then that will be as a, what you can say, is a hit. It's more hit there basically, or there's a problem actually. So we will kind of get this kind of heat map using conditional formatting. There is no heat map function per se. There is a conditional formatting which you could do using color scale. Okay. The first one, it shows a kind of a green, yellow, red color scale. So basically, it will show green for the good numbers, and then there is a low numbers. It will show red, and there will be the darker red will be for this minus 32,000, a little less kind of a red shade of red. So you have a shades of colors. So there are three colors: green, yellow, and red. And there are shades of these three colors that you can see depending on the value that you have. So this is something that you could do. Now, if I want to apply something else, I need to first clear this rule. So let me clear from the entire rule and may apply some other rule. So you may want to do, let us say, red yellow, kind of exactly opposite. So, वैसा देखो. So for example, see, this is the uh, negative. So let us say this is a defect or reject data or defect data. Then less is better. Then you want to have a green, and higher is bad. So that you want to show the red. Typically, green, yellow, red. You use it like green is good, red is something which is problem, danger, problem, bad kind of a thing, and yellow is kind of a caution. You want to be careful, or it's not as bad as red, but not as good as green, kind of a thing. So depending on how do you want to use the context, but please remember that this is a universal kind of a, norm that green is good. So don't use it otherwise. But depending on the data, if it's a defect data, then higher is bad, lower is good, lower defect is good. So that you want to apply green. But if it is a sales data, then you want to apply it differently. Okay. There are different range. I mean, it's not necessary that you have to have uh, only these. There are many other color scales which are there which you could use. There is also one white, green, or and again there are more rules that you can build it. Now, if you don't want the pre-built, you want to create your own rules. That is also possible. So we could create a new rule, and you will have something like this: format all cells based on their values. You could take a format style, maybe two colors. I'll take a three colors things, and then I would take maybe dark red. Okay, and here I think green. Mein to there is only one green. Yeah, there's a light green, but okay, I'll take this green, and this I would take orange. Okay, uh, yeah, this is orange. I'll take orange, and then I apply. It's very different. So you could also change the colors depending on what you want to show. So this is dark red. So it's like a hit. It's a really hit map. This is where you will like to focus. This is a real big problem. So you kind of get highlighted accordingly. So this is what the actually it's called in Excel term. It's called what do you say this color scale. But in business language, we like to use the word heat map. So that's the reason I'm use this word heat map, which can be done using a color scale in Excel. Yeah. So please go ahead and take a couple of minutes to set up your own heat map using this data. And once you are done, please mention done in the chat box. And then we look at the last thing, which is housing data. Yeah, are you done? Can you move ahead?
Yes. In this also we need to remove the rows,
Sorry.
to get the highlighted earlier highlighted removed.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything like rows to be removed? Here rows.
You want to
Line.
edit the row? Yeah, you can edit the rule.
Ah, ah.
If you want to kind of change the cell, suppose you want to only for this first three thing only, you could do that. And obviously you can even change this color also. If you want to do it two color scale, you could do that.
Yeah.
And say okay. Now this is clear. Only this thing is obviously has become too much, but yeah, this is what you could
Mm. Then
do. Okay. So let us now move to the last worksheet, which is housing data. This is again good amount of data, and I think there are some 100 plus, yeah, so 125 records are there, which is basically property data. There's the agent who is associated with that property, the date, the area, North County, South County, center. It's a US data. Though I use rupees as a list price, my configuration is configured currency format is rupees. Then there are number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, square feet. There is so, sold or not. There is true or false, and there is a rating, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of a thing. Okay. This is I'll talk about this little later. So let me just yeah, enable this. There is some formula there. I'll tell you what this formula is. So so far what we have seen is that when you want to highlight a particular row, for example, I want to highlight rows where the list price is more than say 3 lakhs, okay, or highlight the sales where the so I can do this. I can select shift control down arrow. I'll select this entire thing. Then I go to home, conditional formatting, highlight greater than, and I will say 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs. Is greater than 2 lakhs, or maybe let us say maybe more than 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs. I think that, and I can see that I can actually scroll down and see there are few values which are greater than 4 lakhs. So that is something which is possible. But what if I want to highlight all rows where the list price is more than uh, 4 lakhs? Now to do that, I need to use formula. Okay, so I'll just show you that how to do that. So let me clear all the rules from select entire sheet, and then I go ahead and I select all the columns, and I'm deliberately not selecting the header. I just shift control down arrow and then right arrow. I select the entire data without the header. Go to conditional formatting, new rule. Okay. And here I drop it down and say use a formula to determine which cells to format. So I'm putting a formula there. Okay. And I put a formula by saying equal to And here I will say dollar $D because I have the column which is D column. So I'll say dollar $D and I have to take the topmost value. So it's 2. So I'll say dollar $D2 is greater than 4 lakhs. You just put 4 lakhs. And I need to obviously give the formatting. So I'll just go ahead and do the filling only. Okay. Just say okay. So this is saying formula, highlight the rules, where the formula is to D2. This is $2. Why dollar? Because I want to only look at D column, not the entire column. So hence I say dollar $D2 greater than 4 lakhs. And then I say okay. And then I need to kind of go and check and I'll see I got this whole row highlighted with this kind of a thing. Okay. Now these formulas could be more complicated. Okay. And you can put that formula there. Uh, Generally, I would recommend if you really want to do that, you first apply that formula here in another cell. And this formula, if you can read carefully, put it. It says that so it says that if the purchase list price is less than 3 G2, which is square feet is more than 1,000, and which is not sold, is what you want to highlight. So if that's the formula, you could put this formula here. Check it out whether it is correctly working or not. Okay. Copy this formula. Control C. Okay. Let me just first of all go ahead and clear all the rules. You can override rules. There's no issue about it, but it unnecessarily complicates things because it will give a kind of wrong results. Mr. Lim, I'll select this. Go to new rule. Use the formula. Put the formula here. So the format. Let me just do the thing, and I say OK. And you could see that it has highlighted this thing. So you could use complex formulas. I mean, no harm in using complex formulas, but just ensure that you type it outside so that you get a formula correct. Because there you don't get any help to type the formula. That's the reason we have typed it outside. Yeah. So just try doing this. Let me do one.
Sir, in this
Yeah.
false and true,
So
that
this
is
is
okay.
the
Then
formula. I'll give it to you separately in the chat window, so you can try it out yourself directly. Um, yeah, I just created one formula for the sake of it, but it has to start with equal to, and it has. I've just given you a formula basically in the chat window. You can try this out. So it could be any simple formula. It may not be complex. I just created one complex formula, but you can use any formula. But point here is that if you want to highlight cells which are on which you can apply a rule. For example, if you want to highlight only this column, then you can highlight it using pre-built features. But you have to highlight some cells based on values in other cells. Then you have to use formulas. Okay, and this is a place to put the formula. New rule. Use a formula to determine which cells to format and put your formula here. And let's say format values where this formula is true. So first you have to select the area which you want to highlight. Then select new rule. Select formula. Put a formula here. Put a format here and then say OK. It will be done. So you can try the formula which I have pasted in the chat window, or you can have your own formula. And then once you're done, just say done in the chat window, and then we'll kind of close this session. It's already 1 o'clock. I think we'll may need to extend it a little more, maybe 5 minutes more. But just get it done. Once you're done with this, we can close the session. Or I think once you are done, you can leave the session. That also is fine. Please let me know if you face any issue.
Sir, I cannot see the top icons. What should I press?
Which icon?
In this paste, cut, copy, wrap text, insert, delete.
You want to kind of share your screen?
Yeah. In this topmost.
Yes. Um, yeah. So what is the okay? You need to click on view. Click on view first. Yeah. There you check on formula bar.
This one.
Yeah. There is a checkbox near formula bar. Here in the ribbon, you can see rule, grid lines, headings. Next to zoom, left of zoom, you will see
Ah,
formula bar. Just click on that.
okay.
Yeah. So now you go and click that. You will see that formula.
Okay.
Yeah. Click.
Yes.
Yeah. You can stop sharing. So if you're done, you can leave. Nikhil, do you want to leave? You can leave also. I think. Are you done?
I'm just yeah, done. But please share. Can you share the recording?
Yes, I will do that after a couple of hours. I think it takes some time.
Okay. Okay. Bit to download and upload. Fine.
Yeah, yeah. And I will share the link on the WhatsApp group.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. So those who are done can leave. No issues. Those who have, please continue. I'll be.
Formula
Yeah.
we are unable to copy and paste. I need to type it.
Then just share. Oh, you can can't copy paste. Just share your screen. You'll see that.
This is the formula, right?
Yeah, just select the formula. Yeah. Say Control C.
Control C if I'm doing like this, it is getting
Yeah,
highlighted.
that's fine. Now just do the Control C. Now just click somewhere outside.
Achha.
I think it got changed. Can you just
Ah,
escape again? Yeah, just select it, Control C, and then you click somewhere. Just to
1 minute. 1 minute. हाँ सर.
हाँ.
Sir.
Yeah. So you just select it all. Control C. Okay, click inside only. Just click inside. Inside that formula bar. Click outside. Perfect. Now you select this entire thing. Yeah. Go to conditional formatting, global, user formula. There. You got it.
Yes.
Perfect. You're done. You can stop sharing now. Perfect. So those who are done can now leave the workshop. Atul ji, Gudarshan Singh ji, are you also done? Are you facing any difficulty?
नहीं सर, ये पूरा नेटवर्क की वजह से मुझे कुछ समझा ही नहीं है लास्ट.
अच्छा ठीक है, एक काम कर सकते हैं, I'll share the recording with you. Okay, I'll be
हाँ.
sharing that in the group. If you still have difficulty after watching recording, please contact me on my WhatsApp and we can quickly connect and I can explain it to you. Will it work?
क्या सर?
मैं आपके साथ रिकॉर्डिंग शेयर करता हूँ ग्रुप
हाँ
में,
हाँ.
आप देख लीजिएगा
ओके.
उसमें. अगर आपको फिर भी
हाँ
प्रॉब्लम
चलेगा.
तो आप मुझे WhatsApp पे कनेक्ट कीजिएगा, मैं आपसे बता दूंगा.
यस सर, यस यस.
ठीक है.
चलेगा.
Okay, done, sir. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
थैंक यू.
Thanks, and have a remaining happy weekend.
सर रिकॉर्डिंग जो है मेल में शेयर करोगे और व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में शेयर
WhatsApp
करोगे?
group पे I'll send a link.
ओके सर, ओके. थैंक यू वेरी मच. सो नाइस ऑफ यू.
This
Okay.
was a good session, sir.
Yep, thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your feedback.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, sir. अतुल क्या हुआ?